You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.
Happy Friday, everyone. TGIF. Thanks for watching us here on the Mike Lindell Show. I'm Vanessa Broussard, and Mike Lindell will be joining us shortly. He wants to talk more today on President Trump's executive order on Chris Krebs. We'll talk about it here and then join with Mike Lindell later on the show, including a response from Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. We'll talk about that as well. But let's start with what happened on Wednesday. This is when it all began. President Trump signed an executive order to address the risks from Chris Krebs and government censorship. Let's show you again the moment it was signed and why it was made into an executive order.
Christopher Krebs, the former head of CISA. This is a man who weaponized his position against free speech in the election context, in the context of COVID-19. This is it's a similar presidential memorandum to the one you just signed. It addresses his access to government, existing clearances he might have, and further instructs your Department of Justice, other aspects of your government, to investigate some of the malign acts that he participated in while he was still head of CISA.
This is another one. I don't know that I met him. I'm sure I met him, but I didn't know him. And he came out right after the election, which was a rigged election, a badly rigged election. We did phenomenally in that election. Look what happened to our country because of it. Open borders, millions of people coming into our country. Russia and Ukraine, that would have never happened. October 7th would have never happened. Afghanistan, the way they withdrew with 13 dead, but so many killed, actually. I mean, so many killed outside of the 13 soldiers, hundreds of people killed. And maybe, I don't know, never mentioned, but I mentioned it, 42 or 43 people so badly injured, the legs, the arms, blown off, the face. And this is all because of an incompetent group of people that preceded us, and that would have never happened.
Krebs was an aide in the president's first administration. He served as the director of the Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency. That falls under the Department of Homeland Security. Now, going to the 2020 election. After the election, Krebs publicly said that the election was the most secure in American history. He said that publicly. He went on newscasts saying that. He said that on social media. Well, the White House says he was, quote, a bad faith actor who weaponized and abused the government authority. The White House says he suppressed conservative viewpoints under the guise of combating supposed misinformation. The White House says he recruited and coerced major social media platforms to further its partisan mission, going on to say he promoted the censorship of election information. Now, in a statement from the White House, it says Krebs falsely and basely denied that the 2020 election was rigged and stolen, including dismissing widespread serious vulnerabilities with voting machines. So President Trump, on Wednesday, he directed the Attorney General and Secretary of Homeland Security to review Krebs' activities as a government employee. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, she came out yesterday and she said that investigative teams have discovered there are, in fact, problems with the voting machines. This is different than what Krebs said. She says she has the best of the best in line working on this, and that she has found problems with the machines, that in fact it is true. Machines can't be trusted. Take a listen.
I've got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time. And vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast. which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections.
We just want secure elections. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, she posted this on her X account last night, shortly after Tulsi Gabbard made that announcement. She said this: Mike Lindell, along with many others, vindicated. Another conspiracy theory being proven right. Guess what? Democrats already knew this and publicly talked about this in 2019. And then they lied and lied and lied. She posted another X post saying this: election integrity and election security is national security. We need paper ballots ASAP. That's from Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Again, we'll talk more with Mike Lindell coming up here shortly on the Mike Lindell Show. As you know, he's had surgery and he's back and he's ready to talk about Krebs and election integrity. In the meantime, today, President Trump is at Walter Reed for his annual physical. Now, it's a routine checkup. Our White House correspondent, Kara Castronova, is live in Washington, D.C. with more on this. Kara, good to see you. What can you tell us?
Hey, Vanessa. So right now the president is at Walter Reed. He left there earlier today, so he should still be there. Maybe he's just leaving now. We're still here at the White House, obviously awaiting the results. There's expected to be a readout of those results, and I'm expecting everything to be just fine. I think the president is in better health than he was in 2016, just from the looks of it, mentally and physically. I think obviously he's spiritually stronger, and to me that's the most important of the three. I don't know if you agree with me. But yes, we will be getting those results shortly from the press secretary. I think by the end of the day, I don't know. I would assume maybe by the latest next week. But that was promised today at the press conference, the results from that physical to be released to the press in the near future.
Yes, and you know, we talked about this earlier, Kara. President Trump looks so good right now. I mean, he's looking great. He's very strong in what he does, making deals with other countries from all around the world. He's very bright. He's very brilliant. He looks like he's lost some weight. He has a diet plan that he's trying to stick to from Bobby Kennedy. I know, you know, there's a big push to make America healthy again, and I think President Trump is in on that. What do you think?
100%. That's something he obviously was championing during his campaign, not to mention countless times saying how important it is for the children of this country to be healthy. And also, really, I think President Trump is a good example for people who are over the age of 65, people who are seniors, to see somebody that actually is his age, that lost weight, and that's really taking care of their health as they get older, which you don't really see. And I got an opportunity today to ask Caroline Levitt if she could give us some insight on his fitness plan or on any diet he might be on, including if he is cutting down on McDonald's. So please take a listen to my question today at the press briefing.
Will you guys also consider releasing the president's fitness plan? He actually looks healthier than ever before, healthier than he did 8 years ago, and I'm sure everybody in this room could agree. Is he working out with Bobby Kennedy, and is he eating less McDonald's?
I can confirm the president is in very good shape, as you see, on a near daily basis here. And in that vein, thank God it's Friday. It's been a very long and busy week here at the White House. We will see you all on Monday, and we will release the results of that report as soon as we can.
So there you have it. And like I said, we're expecting that report. Two journalists, before I asked that question, had pressed the press secretary on the topic of whether they will be transparent about the president's health, which I thought was highly hypocritical, considering the fact that nobody was really pressing until that disastrous debate with Biden, and the Democrat journalists got the memo. You know, it's fair game now to actually question Biden's health. That became fair game after they decided they wanted to replace him in the primary. So then all of a sudden they were asking questions. But up until then, just like they just obeyed the command that we're not going to question Biden's health, and there was no transparency, obviously, whatsoever. And I actually took the time before this to read the last doctor's, I guess, assessment of Biden, which was just complete hogwash if anybody takes a look at it, because this was after the debate, and this is a real doctor going on the record and saying that he's completely fine. neurologically, that there's no concern about his motor skills, which obviously everybody was concerned considering how unfortunately it was very sad to see actually how he was tripping and falling all over the place. And again, the journalists weren't asking questions then, and they had seen all of that. I don't remember journalists asking any questions in the press briefing room, but of course today they were completely demanding transparency on this president's health.
Very interesting, Kara, to hear that these doctors went on record saying he's perfectly fine, when yes, he couldn't walk upstairs to Air Force One. He couldn't find his way off the stage when he was speaking. He would stare into space a lot of the times, looking like he was lost. Unbelievable. And if we want to go that route, let's talk about the documents that were in his garage and how he got off with that, because they said that he wasn't in his right state of mind. So there's some conflicting reports there, but you're absolutely right. The mainstream media never hit the press secretary hard on Joe Biden's health.
They didn't, and she really had a hard time defending it, the former press secretary, defending his health, especially in the end. But they vouched till the very end that he was in perfectly fine health. And again, to quote that doctor, that his motor skills were perfectly fine and actually doing well. So, you know, I take with a grain of salt any of these reports coming out, but just from my own observation of President Trump in the 2 months I've been here at the White House, he seems like he's lost weight. He seems like he's mentally stronger than ever before. He's more clear. I just feel like he's healthier, and I think that anybody observing, even on TV, could see that. And I think it was the opposite with President Biden. So I didn't trust those reports when they were released on Biden. But just from my observation, like I said, I don't think that the president has any health problems as of right now.
Absolutely, and I hope that that's the case, because, you know, a lot of times, too, we can see a healthy person on the outside, but we hope for the best on the inside. There's a lot that we can't see as well. But I can tell you, going back to the way that President Biden couldn't walk and would stumble and couldn't lift his feet the majority of the time, President Trump still has that good Trump pump dance going on. So we know that he's doing great when it's coming to the biggest deal of all time, tariffs on all the foreign countries all over the world. That is just a brainiac of business. And if he can do it now, he's great when it comes to his mindset. We know we see him doing the Trump pump all the time, even at an event the other night. At a conservative dinner. He's still dancing on stage. So, like you mentioned, from what the eyes can see, President Trump is doing very well.
Definitely, and I wanted just you to be able to see this question another reporter had really quickly, just so you could get that answer, and that the press secretary had regarding the actual physical examination today. So please check this out.
As I have said, the president is undergoing his long-scheduled physical. It's a yearly physical that every president receives, and we will provide an update on that by the president's physician as soon as we possibly can.
And about the former president and transparency regarding his health.
Well, I can tell you there was certainly a lack of transparency from the former president, from the entire former administration, and frankly, a lot of people in this room when it came to the health and the competence of the former president of the United States, Joe Biden. There was one of the greatest cover-ups and frankly political scandals this nation has ever seen. It's been unraveled in some recent books that are being written by journalists who engaged in that cover-up and scandal, which is quite ironic. But this president is clearly committed to transparency. You in this room see him and hear from him on a daily basis. You in this room know from covering him, it's hard to keep up with him. He is a machine working around the clock every single day. And the physician, after today's physical, will provide an update on the report in the effort of transparency.
So there you have it. That was the press secretary really responding to the questions regarding the president's health. I think it will be a nothing burger. I think that, you know, like we mentioned earlier, everything is fine, but we'll see. So we're awaiting those results, obviously, here at the White House, and it's raining and it's freezing, which is crazy because I'm under an umbrella right now, if you can't see. But, you know, it's been an interesting week. I think the president has had a really busy week here between everything with the tariff announcement, obviously with the Prime Minister of Israel and a lot of the protests going outside that we had covered as well. It's been a really long week, and I think you know, everybody is relieved that it's the weekend, and the president's probably relieved to go to Mar-a-Lago and, like we had discussed earlier, do those important deals that he does when he's there at Mar-a-Lago with all of his businesses and all of those world leaders that visit him down there and play golf.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Kara, because the left likes to say that he's wasting taxpayer dollars by going to Mar-a-Lago every weekend, and that's not the case. It's also his business as well as his residence. So he does live there, but he makes a lot of business deals while he's there, and he has a lot of his cabinet and people under his administration. They are visiting on the weekends and talking about saving America. So regardless of what the left says and what the fake news says, and when he goes to Mar-a-Lago, he's just going home. But it's still a place where business is conducted.
Certainly, and I'm here every Friday when we watch him. Not this Friday because he's taking off from elsewhere because he went to Walter Reed to get that physical. But generally, he takes off on Marine One, and he always has a member of the cabinet, whether it be Secretary Kennedy or Elon Musk, who's not a member of the cabinet, but obviously he's doing his important work with Doge. He's usually accompanied by someone or another who gets on that Marine One with him. So I'm assuming they're accompanying him down to Mar-a-Lago to probably discuss and go over really important stuff. And it's really sometimes better to do it, in my opinion, in a relaxed background, than here at the White House. I think that's when most things probably get done.
Absolutely. Well, Kara, I know it's cold there. I know it's raining. We'll let you get back inside. It's April. When does it warm up in D.C.? Hopefully soon for you.
We're hoping. Thank you so much, Vanessa.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. All right, the stock market is continuing to be a topic of discussion here as we continue to watch what the market is doing today. Let's take a look at the latest numbers from Market Watch. The Dow, S&P 500, and NASDAQ have been wobbly, going up and down, giving us whiplash all week long, but it looks like we're going to close out the week. So far, it's looking good. The Dow right now up 619 points. The S&P 500 up 95 points. The NASDAQ up 337 points. This week came from the announcement on tariffs against the other countries all over the world. That's when the market went way down, and it's been going up and down ever since. It all has to do with the tariffs. President Trump posting this on Truth Social this morning when it comes to the tariffs and the deals that he's making with other countries. He says, "We are doing very well on our tariff policy. Very exciting for America and the world. It is moving along quickly. DJT." Caroline Leavitt also spoke about the tariffs today in her press briefing, saying over 75 countries now, 75, have reached out to the president to make a deal.
More than 75 countries have now reached out to the Trump administration, eager to address the trade issues that have exploited America and hurt our workers in the process. The phones have been ringing off the hook to make deals. And these countries wisely heeded President Trump's warning not to retaliate, and as a result, they were rewarded with a 90-day pause and substantially lower reciprocal tariff rates during this period so potential solutions can be achieved. Past presidents just willingly accepted the failed status quo on trade that ripped off our workers and our companies. But that's not who this president is. He creates his own leverage and negotiates deals better than anyone else who has sat in the Oval Office before him. And that process is currently underway.
There you have it. Now's a good time, as we always say here on the show, to invest in gold and silver. We recommend our friends over at Fisher Gold. You can go to MikeLindellGold.com. Again, that's MikeLindellGold.com. As you know, the national debt has skyrocketed over the last couple of years. For the last 4 years, many of you have probably eaten away at your savings. So now is the time to go in a different route. Go with something more secure. Secure your wealth today. Again, MikeLindellGold.com. Representatives are waiting to hear from you. They're a conservative company. They share our values. Fisher Gold is endorsed by Mike Lindell. Let them know that Mike sent you. For qualifying orders, you could get a free coin and $20,000 in free silver. Again, that website, MikeLindellGold.com. Great news to report to you today. Another hostage has returned home to American soil. We are happy to report that Ksenia Karolina is home, back with her family after being held in Russia for over a year. The press secretary announcing the joyous reunion.
Last night, Ksenia Karolina arrived back safely in the United States after being detained in Russia for more than a year. Since Inauguration Day, President Trump and his team have secured the release of more than 40 detained Americans abroad. This is more than half of the number of Americans released by Joe Biden in 4 years. And President Trump has brought these Americans home in 80 days. This administration will continue to work hard to bring Americans home from around the world.
Kaznia Carolina, excited to be back home on American soil. She said this the minute she reunited with her loved ones.
Mr. Trump, I'm so grateful for you to bring me home and for American government. And I never felt more blessed to be American, and I'm so happy to get home. Thank you.
We welcome her home and we thank our president for finally bringing hostages back. Something Joe Biden didn't do and something Joe Biden wouldn't do. The president also calling for daylight saving time to be permanent. He said this today, the House and Senate should push hard for more daylight at the end of the day, and I think we can all agree. He says it's very popular, and most importantly, no more changing of the clocks. A big inconvenience, and for our government, a very costly event. DJT, I'd have to agree. Daylight saving, always a pain, twice a year. Moving those clocks, you can't get your sleep schedule right, can't get your days right. Sometimes it's darker later, sometimes it's darker, later in the morning, later at night. Daylight comes and goes. We just don't know from time to time, and it's hard for our bodies to adjust. So I asked you this on my X account. What do you think? Should we put an end to it? Right now, a majority of you are saying yes, we should. Over 85% of you are saying yes, we should put an end to it and make more light at the end of the day. Go to Vanessa B News on X. Follow me there. Join the conversation. Let us know what you think. Well, new at this hour, it is out with the old and in with the new at the White House. Love to see it. You're going to love it too. A new picture is now on display in the main lobby. Look at there. It was Obama with his hands in his pocket. Now we have a real fighter greeting visitors to the right of your screen. A picture of President Trump's iconic image where he is saying, fight, 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 after he was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, a true American hero, hanging there in the lobby, the main lobby of the White House. Love to see it. All right, when we come back, Mike Lindell joins us to talk about the executive order on Krebs and election integrity. Don't miss it. That's coming up next right here on the Mike Lindell Show. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Stay with us.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks, Rev 7. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, Rev 7 uses Go BHB. Go BHB is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. Rev 7 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink Rev 7 every day, and I absolutely love it, and so will you.
All right, we want to wish a very happy birthday, 125th birthday to the U.S. Navy. Today they celebrate. We thank all of our veterans who have served for the last 125 years. You are the true heroes. Here's a quick message for your birthday greeting. If we have that, we have a message to the U.S. Navy. There you go. There you have it. Again, happy birthday. 125 years old today, the U.S. Navy. We appreciate everything that you do. And we appreciate all of you who have supported Mike Lindell over the years. MyPillow.com. We appreciate the people who have purchased from Mike, and we encourage you to keep doing so. You're the reason that we're here today, and we continue to have a voice. You know, the big box stores canceled Mike when he came out and decided that he wants to fight hard for election integrity, and I guess they didn't like that. I'm not sure their real reasoning and don't want to speak for them, but I know that they were no longer selling MyPillow products in the stores. And so the American people and people from all over the world, they chipped in and said, we'll buy from you, Mike, from mypillow.com. So we want to show you the website. There's a big spring sale going on right now. We also have other deals up to 80% off. You can type in the code Lindell for a big discount on mypillow.com. There you go. Spring mega sale going on right now. You can shop the mattress sale. You can shop for slippers. Kara says it's raining and cold in D.C. I'm in the South and it's warm. It's warming up. We're getting ready for summer down here, but I still rock my slippers. You can too, no matter the temperatures where you live. They're very comfortable. The My Cross that Mike Lindell loves so much, and people are buying constantly because it's a replica of the one that he wears around his neck every single day. Also go to mystore.com. Lots of great products there from conservative companies who have conservative products and great products that they sell. And so we want you to support them as well. So it's a great one-stop shop for everyone when you go to mypillow.com. Again, type in the promo code Lindell, and you can save very big. And let me tell you, it says right there, mega sale. They're mega deals as well. The deals are outstanding, and you can do a lot of shopping. Easter's coming up, the summer's coming up, so if you have a young one heading off to college and they need things for their dorm, there you have it right there at mypillow.com. Mike Lindell is joining us coming up. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, he'll talk about this week's executive orders on election integrity. That's next. You're watching The Mike Lindell Show.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupting this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillow is only $14.98. Queens, $18.98. King size, only $1 more. Body pillows, $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free. Hello, everyone. I'm excited to announce the next generation of energy drinks, Rev 7. It has no sugar and no caffeine. Instead, Rev 7 uses Go BHB. Go BHB is one of the body's primary ketones, and it provides the most efficient and clean fuel that your body needs. It also helps you stay energized all day with no crashes. Not only that, it produces 3 times more brain energy than sugar, which helps boost your memory, focus, and mental sharpness. It also helps reduce stress and helps balance your mood. Rev 7 does all that while being the best tasting energy drink ever. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% today. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7. For a limited time, you get our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. I drink Rev 7 every day, and I absolutely love it, and so will you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lindell TV. Today we have with us Carlos Cortez, one of the greatest sponsors ever here at Lindell TV. And you can visit AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com and or call that number the whole time we're on the show here. So we wanted to get with you, Carlos. I'm trying to. I'm reading here stuff from your site here. Boy, the stock market is going up. It's gradually. I've been watching every day. It's kind of moving, isn't it? Why don't you first tell people what you do, we'll go from there. What do you do? You take people and you tell them, here's where to put your stuff, your money?
Yeah, great question, Mike. Thanks for having me on again. It's very simple. We're basically going to transform clients' portfolios to match the Trump administration, to match the current environment. We have a falling interest rate environment that we're in. We have inflation that's out of control and the dirty laundry that is airing out right now to get that into control. So there's going to be a lot of volatility in the markets. We don't know if it's going up, down, or sideways, but you have to be prepared regardless of the situations. Tariffs are coming in, tariff money is coming in, so U.S. could be more profitable, but there's going to be a rough patch as we go through this Q1, finish up as we go into Q2, and so we'll see a lot of cyclical industries, especially like big tech, just take a hit.
What I've been telling people is, we're going into the abyss. This is unknown. We're in uncharted territory. I really believe that. We're in uncharted territory in history, and you need experts, everybody. You need somebody that's out there like Carlos. You need an expert at this time to take everything they've learned from all kinds of other things that have happened. But we are going into the abyss, into uncharted territory. I just got a call, Carlos, this morning from one of my bedding manufacturers. And he said, Mike, you need to call up your friend and tell him Canada's still tariffing. They're tariffing all of our bedding industry, our mattresses and everything. They didn't, which they did quite a while ago, like about, 6-7 years ago now. They did it to my pillow, specifically to our pillows. They made me make a plant up in Canada. But so what I'm saying is there's so many different things that are happening. All, you look over here, is the stock market going to go up and down? Is this going to happen? Are they going to back off on this tariff or that tariff? And this is what I'm telling you, everybody. You really need to listen to what Carlos has to say, because right there, you just said it right out of the gate. You kind of took away all my what I was going to ask you, but my thunder is based on the footprint that we have right now. Everybody, there's no one out there that's an individual that hasn't studied all this stuff is going to know what to do exactly, or not even close, because we're in an anomaly in history, everybody. There's good stuff going on. There's bad stuff. And so what you probably do, as I know, Carlos, you view every customer like your only customer. And So you're not only, if I'm saying this right, you not only take the footprint of what's out here, now you take the footprint of the client and say, here's our best advice. And right, am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's really simple. So we've color coded everything, Mike. Where green money is going to be a safe money bucket account where it never loses money. It only grows when the index grows. And then we have a yellow bucket where we have our money managers that typically are day traders, swing trading, watching the markets, getting in and out of ebbs and flows of the markets, using AI, using human day traders experience. And this is called smart money. It's a liquid. We have this style of money for clients that want to be in the markets, that want to make money in the markets, but in a more strategic way. And then there's red money. And unfortunately, Mike, everybody is in red money. The 401ks, the IRAs. This is where you buy a stock and never look at it. You buy a mutual fund, you never look at it. This is the stories that you hear of 2008 during COVID, where they're like, oh, I have $500,000 in my retirement, but now it's a 201k. You only have 250,000 in your retirement. This is called red money. We also have crypto in there, real estate, precious metals. There's no protection on a downside. So anything that goes up and down in value is considered red money. You have no contractual guarantees. It is it is risk. So everything involves risk, obviously. So
right. Well, I'm going to throw a question at you. I know we didn't prepare for this, but I'm going to throw it at you because if you were looking at my portfolio, you're not going to see any cash. They took all that. They've attacked it. The last 4 years, it's all went to save the country. But I have money in pre-IPOs, and they've been basically locked up because nobody's doing IPOs. Do you see the future of our country, or would you? When the IPO is going to come back? When are the companies still so afraid to do them because of where we're at, or where do you see there?
Yeah, so I like IPOs if you are blessed to get into one, and if it's a great opportunity. Obviously, like the Lindell network would be a great IPO. I believe in your brand. I believe in you, Mike. So me being biased, that would be a great opportunity.
Hold it, guys. We are already public at Lindell TV. You guys can check that out at fsbn.com. Check out FSBN, Frank Speech Broadcast Network. So we're already public. You're right. That'd be great. You guys can get in right now. We did a reverse merger last summer, but it is at a great price. But anyway.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Hello.
Well, hello, Mike.
Hello.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay. Are we live?
We're live. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Hold on, I got to get ready here. I'm trying to get, it's been quite a week, everybody. I had surgery again on my vocal cords, and then I had a little story. I went into Canada and almost got detained there, not to be let go again. So we can talk about that. Where have you at in the show? Did you show all the stuff that's been happening, Vanessa?
I did. We've been talking about it a lot. We've missed you here because we know you've been chomping at the bits to talk about it. A lot of talk this week, Mike, on election integrity, then the executive order on Wednesday involving Chris Krebs. And so we've talked about that. We've given history, the backstory on Chris Krebs and his involvement in the Trump administration, his first term, and then also how Chris Krebs came out after the 2020 election. And we aired an interview from 60 minutes after that election where he said that it was the most secure election in American history. Well, Tulsi Gabbard comes out yesterday, Mike, and says they have found lots of irregularities when it comes to these voting machines, and we have to go to paper ballots.
Right. Well, let's address the Chris Krebs ones first, everybody. He was the first deviation back in 2020. I'm hearing this guy say it's the most secure election ever after we had 2 months of evidence of millions of people voting in all different states that didn't live there or that were deceased, and all these things that didn't make sense. And this Chris Krebs, and the media kept saying, oh, he's a Donald Trump appointed. Doesn't matter who they. This is when I first learned about the uniparty, the deep state, the cover-up. So Chris Krebs, when he said that, everybody, that's what they always pointed back to. Him and Bill Barr saying there's not enough to overturn an election. And But Chris Krebs, and 3 months later, when he went on Morning Joe, he gets on there and they asked him, what's the number one threat to our country right now? And Chris Krebs said, bar none, a China cyber attack right down to the local elections. So it was disgusting. But yesterday, and I want you to play it, I don't know if we have it. Edward, you can see if you get that from Lauren, maybe play that. Do you have the tape that was made?
I've asked for it. I haven't seen it just yet. I know they're working on it, and if we have it, I'd love to see it as well.
I've got it, so he must have it. But
Okay.
anyway, guys, it does show Tulsi Gabbard. You have two things going on: the president going after Krebs and going after, actually also going after the law firm that suing me, and for Dominion, and for sued Fox News. It's all corrupt. It's like, and then you got the DNI coming out, and yesterday, I wish we could play that. I want that played.
We do have that video, Mike. We have the video.
Okay. All right, let's play that.
That's great. November 5th, 2024 will go down as one of the most important days in the history of our country. I'm pointing to Mike Lindell. That man suffered. That man suffered.
I've got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time, and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections.
They went after him. It was just terrible. This was a vicious weaponization of your government. But I'll tell you, he stood up. He's all man. He stood up strong, and nothing was going to faze him. And I want to thank you on behalf of everybody, Mike. You put up with a tremendous amount.
And I'll tell you, everybody, I've been getting calls from all over the country. Social media is blown out. Mike, you've been vindicated. You've been vindicated. To me, it's, there's a couple points takeaways here. One is it was shown on Fox News. Because of where we're at in our country right now, and because of like Lindell TV here, everybody, having all these other outlets, they can't suppress it anymore. So and by our president doing that conference with with all of his people there, live to the countries, live to the world, they can't hide that. They couldn't hide the fact that if this would have been 3-4 years ago, they would have hid that she even said that, okay? But Fox actually played it. Fox actually played her saying that. And so one of the things is you're going to see things start to unfold, I'm hoping, as more and more stuff comes out. But just know this, everybody, that we can't stop here. It doesn't matter. We've got to get rid of the electronic voting machines. We've got to go to paper ballots hand counted, and they keep attacking me every day for a reason. And this is what I'm going to bring up right now, just to show you, Vanessa, how deep this goes. Every year I go to Canada, and I wanted to tell this story. I went in for vocal cord surgery, everybody, about my 8th one now, and they believe they got everything. I believe it should be good now going forward. But that was on this last Tuesday. On Monday, when we went to Detroit, I went into Windsor, Canada, and here's why. Every year since I was a kid, with my dad, since 1973, we went up through Minnesota and into Ontario to go fishing, an annual fishing trip. And they would take it every year since I was a kid, up to 1999. In the year 1999, they stopped us at the border, and they said, there was four of us, and they said we see you got DWIs here in the 1980s, and I said yes, and they said, well, you need to go get them. You know, you got to go to rehabilitation, whatever, and so they wouldn't let me in, and they wouldn't let me in. So, long story short, we got the treatment papers or whatever, kept going. I brought my kids up there. My dad passed away, so it's a tradition. We go up there every year. Now, last year, we were detained at the border for about 12 hours that they weren't letting us cross because they're saying they gave me this packet and they said, you need to go get, you need to be a moral character. That was their word they used. You need to be rehabilitated. And I said, I've got all this stuff. And the first time we went to cross, we know it was someone very much on the left that recognized me. And then we went back into Minnesota. Now this is last year, and got the papers we needed from my past. We went to got the criminal record for all the DWIs in the 80s. And if any of you have read my book, anything that was in there, it's all been very public. And obviously I run one of the biggest treatment centers with Lindell Recovery Network.org to help addicts. Well, anyway, we bring it back to the board. They let us go fishing last year, and he gives me a stack of papers, and he says, you can, so you don't have this problem again, go to one of the border stations. And I said, would Windsor, Canada? He said, yeah, that'll work fine. So this last Monday, everybody, Kendra and I, we went into Canada, went into Windsor, told the guy at the gate, we said, we need to talk to immigration and get a permanent thing here. So that I said, I've got my papers with me that I went to treatment and all these things. And I even had a letter from my counselor. And anyway, we get in there, and this lady, I wish I had the papers. I didn't get them up, Vanessa. I was going to make copies and show people this lady, because I wanted to put her name out there. This lady had so much hate when she seen it was me. It was unreal. The hate that came out of her was absolutely beyond anything I've seen. We were detained a couple hours. They brought me in an interrogation room. She called me a criminal at least 20 times, trying to get me to get upset. She goes, you're a criminal, you're a thief, you're an assaulter, she just kept going on and on, and I'm sitting there going, okay, what's going on? Then she goes, I know who you are, and I go, but don't think I'm treating you any different than any other criminal. And I'm going, wow. I'm quite sure you are treating me a little different. That's about as bad as it got where I said that. And she couldn't get me a rise out of me. I've been in terrible situations like this before. But she said, you were not allowed to come into Canada, and now you're trying to break into Canada. This is what she's telling me. We are going to keep you, detain you, and not let you leave Canada. And this is what she was saying to me. We're not going to let you leave. They were going to take me for sure away. I don't know about Kendra. And I'm going, and then I had those papers on my phone. I had copies of them because she was asking me, and I said, here, and I pulled them up and I showed her. I said, this is what they told me to do a year ago in Canada. And she says, I can keep you for indefinitely. You're a criminal. You're a criminal. She kept telling me that. And it was disgusting, everybody. It was a full-blown attack. And then I told her, I said, if this has if this has anything to do with what you're seeing in the news on these tariffs, because remember this was last Monday, I said, Trudeau actually attacked My Pillow, you guys, back in the day, and put a 25% tariff on My Pillow products. And by the way, it's still on all bedding products going into Canada. But he told me back then when we got into it, this is about 7 years ago, he said, if My Pillow builds a plant in Canada, we won't tariff you. And put this tariff on. So by then I was real big on the shopping channel all over Canada. My Pillow was. We built our plant and made them up there. We didn't have to pay the tariff. Well, that lasted a couple. Biggest selling product at the shopping channel in history, and all over Canada. And guess then what happens is the Canadian shopping channel in all of Canada cancels My Pillow. Okay, they just canceled this, like all the other box stores have done, and it was disgusting. They actually did it before, right after we got the China virus, and so we went through all that to do that. But I guess what I'm getting at here is, you guys, the attacks that led up, it was a very scary situation when you're sitting there at the mercy of this hateful lady, this border guard, and because she's got it in for who that I want to secure our elections, or that I have our great president Donald Trump's back, and we came within that. I still, Kendra and I over the side. She came out of the interrogation room after an hour or so, and we're sitting there, and she basically walked out, left her spot, then came back. And she goes, sign these. I didn't even know what I was signing. I'm going, and I knew not to even ask what. And I'm going, okay. And she goes, if you want to get out of Canada or to be released, you need to sign me. I don't even know what I signed, but I was forced to sign these, so I'm out of Canada. The moral of the story is, I don't know how the fishing trip's going to go this year when we leave in a couple months to try and go to Canada. But that was on
hopefully
Monday,
you won't get the same lady. I hope you got her name and her information, so that way if you want to turn her in the way you were treated, you can do so.
Well, no, I do have all that, and I was going to put it up. Actually, I was going to put it up publicly here. I am going to do that. It was disgusting. I am going to. I deal with. Remember, that was in Windsor by Detroit. I don't go through that way. I go through a different board in Minnesota. But I'm going to address all this. But the point I was making was, this stuff goes so deep. It's like, what did I do? All I've done is ask for our elections to go to paper ballots, hand counted, and the media and everything has twisted. They've attacked, and so to see yesterday, when you say vindicated, I've looked at the articles now. I Google my name, and if you Google Mike Lindell News, it's all changed now to where maybe things are changing, because even Ross Story did an article where it said Marjorie Taylor Greene had come out and said, hey, Mike Lindell's been vindicated, and it wasn't a bad article. I actually retweeted it, and these are hit job publications that go after me all the time. So this is probably the first time in over 4 years, maybe 5 years now, that there it is, everybody. This was by Ross Story. And when I read the article as I go through it, it wasn't bad. It wasn't just the normal hit job article. I actually, like I say, I reshared it. So for the first time, I'd say in 4 or 5 years, probably 5 years, you Google my name and you see it's Mike Lindell's vindicated, Mike Lindell's vindicated, all these things. But I just don't want people to get complacent, because we have to get rid of the machines, and I'm not going to let up on that. I mean, it's one thing to get an announcement that our government is now working on this, and that it's been said publicly. The big thing too is, people ask me, and everyone's asking, well, Mike, what about your lawsuits now? Do the machine companies, can you sue them? I will hope that when this is done, we can sue them. They have cost tens of millions of dollars. They've destroyed my pillow, my employee-owned company. They went after them, Smartmatic, Dominion, and it is disgusting. Why are we still in court? And I want to tell everybody, this lawfare. This is how powerful lawfare is. Now, you see that Donald Trump, our great President Trump, went after the law firm just this week. He went after the law firm where Dominion sued Fox News. Now, everybody, why did Fox News settle? Why did Newsmax settle? Why did all these other places settle with these machine companies? Vanessa, here's why. Most of them, it was the insurance companies. So with the insurance companies, everybody, when you have an insurance company and they're going, hey, we're not going to fight this and waste tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars fighting these lawsuits just so you can win and be right. Well, in this case, I got my insurance company, like at My Pillow, we did a settlement early on just for a few million. We didn't think this would ever last. I would never stop. I don't care how much money. I didn't want the insurance company saying, you need to settle, you need to settle, you need to settle. That's what's happened to our country. It's all about the money rather than about saving our country. We have to get rid of these machines. That's the whole point. Not settle with them that they were, oh yeah, they were defamed because it was a marketing plan by My Pillow to sell more pillows, or all the craziness using promo codes. I mean, it's nonsense. They want to run My Pillow, Mike Lindell, out of money so that Mike Lindell will stop talking about the electronic voting machines and getting rid of them. And everybody, we're going to be short
Well,
on
Mike,
time.
I want to jump in and say that. So we talked about the Chris Krebs executive order, and the one that you just mentioned is for the law firm that's representing Dominion. That's Sisman Godfrey, and that the executive order limits anyone who works for that law firm to have access to government buildings, and it revokes their security clearances. So big news coming there in that executive order also.
Yeah, and that's good. And you got it, and everybody out there, I see it all over. You know, you guys all on social media put, how can we help? What, they've done this to Mike and all this stuff. Well, you guys go to lindellplan.com. We need help. We've got to get rid of these voting machines. I don't have the money left to do it. We've got the Cause of America, the Election Crime Bureau. Go to lindellplan.com and help out. And we will get rid of them. This is what we've been doing. There it is, everybody. This is the golden age of election integrity. Go there. Everything we're doing, everything that my teams are doing for this country, all the stuff we brought to the White House and everything is here. The other thing you all need to do, if you can help out here, is get the app. It's the sister app here. If you're already on Lindell TV, you can just click and go to vocal.com, VOCL.com. There it is, Vocal Social. You guys need to get this app. Go to the App Store, get the app. You all need to be involved. Right now, we've got about 12 months to get rid of these electronic voting machines once and for all. Because what's going to happen, everybody, if we don't, I'm telling you, the Republican Party, the uniparties, the rhinos, you call them, they steal all their people in the primaries. That's where they go after them, in the primaries. And yes, they're using electronic voting machines. That's what they're stealing all our elections with. So you need to get rid of them. We've got about a year to do it. And you've got our great president working from the top. You've got the DNI now working there. You've got Elon Musk, who has put out many tweets that we've got to get rid of these machines. But the biggest thing is you have our teams working in every state from the ground up. And you guys really need to get involved with that. Everybody does. Tell everyone you can. Get vocal.com, VOCL.com, and help out at lindellplan.com. I'm going to tell everybody, too, before I go, you can help My Pillow. Everybody's been asking, how can you help My Pillow? Today is the day. We are closing out a whole line of sheets. We have to turn that line into cash to make room. We put with our spring sheets. This was 14 colors for all the different sizes. $20. $20. There it is. The Percale closeout sale. $20 any side. If you can go, will you flip back to that? There you go. So use promo code L77. Also, we're introducing the healthiest energy drink in history, Rev 7. You guys get your free 3-pack now. Go to mypillow.com and use that promo code L77, L77. You guys, these are the two of the biggest specials you can get right now. Close any size, any color for the sheets, $20, or get that three-pack free now for the Rev 7. You can also call the you can call My Pillow too, and they'll take your orders right there. But that's how you can help out. And I know we're out of time. You guys, I'll have my voice back by next Monday. I just wanted to get on here a little bit today because of what happened, not only the bad things that are still happening, the attacks like in Canada, and then also the good hope that we have going on, everybody. We are gonna get through and get rid of these machines. That was some of the best news of the year this week with the government finally acknowledging we've got to melt down the machines and turn them into prison bars. Oh wait, I said that, not them.
Well, Mike, get better. It's so good to have you on today. We've been waiting to hear from you, and we're glad your surgery went well. And we can tell that you're struggling through, but you wanted to come on. That's what you do. You're here for the American people, and we love you for it. And so spend the weekend resting your voice so you can be back at it next week.
All right, we'll see y'all then. Thanks for this. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good weekend, everyone. And that'll do it for us today here on the Mike Lindell Show. We'll see you right back here on Monday, same time, same place. Enjoy your weekend.
You ever see this guy with the pillows on Fox? My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. He is the greatest. The My Pillow guy, Mike Lindell. And he's been with us right from the beginning.